I'm discussing now about theories of entrepreneurship management. There are a number of theories we will discuss now: contingency theory, systems theory, chaos theory, classical theory, neoclassical theory, modern organizations theory. Some of the theories I'm going to explain now. Basically, contingency theory, it asserts when managers make a decision, they must take into account all aspects of current situation and act on those aspects that are key to the situation. Basically, it is an approach that it depends. For instance, a continuing effort to identify the best leadership or management style might now conclude that the best style depends upon the situation. If one is leading troops in a Persian Gulf, an autocratic style is probably best. Many might argue here too. If one is leading a hospital or a university, a participative and facilitative leadership style is preferably best. Systems theory. It is a significant effect on management science and understanding organizations. First, let us look. What is a system? System means collection of a part unified to accomplish an overall goal. If one part of the system is removed, the nature of the system is changed as well. For example, a pile of sand is not a system. If one removes a sand particle, you have still got a pile of sand. However, a functioning car is a system. Remove carburetor and you have no longer got a working car. A system can be looked at having inputs, processes, outputs, outcomes. So systems share feedback among each of these four aspects of the system. Now, let's look into an organization. Inputs are resources like raw material, money, technology, people. And these inputs go through a process. So they are planned, organized, motivated, controlled. So ultimately meet the organization goal. Now output, that would be the product or service to a market. Now outcome, it may be enhanced quality life of product, quality life or productivity for customers, client. And feedback, that would be information from human resources who carry the processes. Customer, client using the products. Feedback comes from the larger environment of the organization. So, influencing from government, society, economics, technology. The overall system framework applies to any system including subsystem like departments, programs in the overall organization. So system theory, it may be quite basic theory. So with tremendous changes facing organizations, how they operate, how educators, managers come to face the new way of looking at things. This interpretation brought about a significant change in the way management study or approach the organizations. So effectives, writers, educators, consultants, helping managers to look at the organization from a broader perspective. So system theory, it brought a new perspective to managers to interpret pattern or event in the workplace. They recognize various parts of the organization, particularly interrelations of the parts, coordination of central administration with its program, engineering, manufacturing, supervision, etc. So major development is managers typically took one part and focused on that. They moved all attention to another part later. So the problem was organization have a wonderful central administration and wonderful set of managers, but the departments do not sync at all. Chaos theory. That is, as random as world events seem today. They seem as chaotic in organization. Managers have acted on the basis of the organizational events. They can always control. A new theory is chaos theory. It recognizes events, indeed rarely controlled. Many chaos refer to biological system. When explaining their theory, they suggest naturally go to more complexity, and they do so. So system become more volatile, susceptible to catalysmic events. They must expand more energy to maintain complexity. The trend continues until the system split and combines with another complex system or falls apart entirely. Classical theory. Beginning of the classical organization theory, it can be tracked back to the heydays, that is industrial transformation in the second half of the 19th century. Some perspective observers felt the problem of growing size of industries. In the beginning, large-scale units were carried out by the organizations with the help of unskilled and semi-skilled workers. Later on, the technological development changed the industrial scene completely, and many economic, social and technical problems they sprang up. Now, need for solving the problems called for the development of the organizational forms. So hence management practices were quite different from that of the traditional ones. Now, the phenomena has been changed like individualistic to mechanical nature. Now, assumptions in classical theory. There is a relationship between workers and managers. There is accountability, and formalized procedures and practices are happening to control the conflict between the people, and workers considered as driven by economic consideration. So they are motivated basically by economic rewards. Now managers, they are rational and kind-hearted, intelligent and qualified personnel. So they work firmly within the system. Then the theory also assumes a mission and people, both are components. In order to make any improvement in the whole system, internal factors were considered and less attention was given to factors which external environment may constrain or facilitate the system. Classical theory, it is essentially a centralized theory, and it is achieved through the authority and control of the central mechanism. Another theory to be discussed here is neoclassical theory. It was developed as a reaction to the classical approach because many of the behavioralists make further researches into a human behavior at work. So management is thinking, showing the signs of change because of the improved standard of living and education level. So technological changes were forcing management to expand the size of the organization, and complexities were increasing. Now, the trade union movement got momentum and made workers conscious of their rights. It was no longer possible for the management to treat the human beings to work as given. Yeah, take it for granted. Now, there are two main reasons responsible for the change of the management behavior from autocratic to custodial approach based on offer of fringe benefits apart from wages to meet their security needs. Neoclassical approach was developed as a reaction rather than it pointed to the limitations of the classical approach. It endeavors to identify the weakness of classes through empirical research, and most of the criticism emerged through researchers like Hawthorne studies. They were beginning of the series. Now, what are the contributions of neoclassical theory? Organizational situation should be viewed as a social as in economic and technical terms. Social process, that means group behavior, could be understood in terms of clinical method, analogies to the doctor's diagnosis of human organism. So it is a combination of formal and informal forms of organization, and they introduce behavioral science to diagnose human behavior. There are certain theories which could be understood in our later discussion.